We have made it past hump day, Jess, and it's Thursday, and my Facebook Live with Jess. I'm so excited you're here. We've known each other a long time. We'll talk a little bit about that. But what you bring to the table with your Believe in Blank marketing is just something I want to share with the group. But I want to share who you are with the group too, because it's who you are underneath all that just feels so special. And I'm just so grateful that our orbits have crossed. Just to give you a sense of how Jess operates, one of her quotes is, "The best customers don't need to be sold. They already believe in you because they've gotten to know your brand through virtual interaction." So Jess has years of experience as a certified social media marketer, cultivating social media personas for a lot of brands, two that I'm familiar with that we'll talk about. And she empowers and grows small businesses through authentic social media connection, which is what we're all about in this group. She's the founder of Believe in Blank Marketing, and she works with you individually. So as part of that, she crafts the right voice, creates authentic content, and then helps you build the community around your unique business. And I want to talk to her about how she works that magic today. Jess, first of all, welcome. Thanks so much for spending some time with us this morning.
Oh my gosh, Pam, thank you. I'm so excited about this, and thank you for that lovely introduction.
Well, I'm going to circle back to how we met. So I am the treasurer for the A Soldier's Hands charity, which you hear me talk about here. We've introduced the founder. We've done a live with her and actually had a really great session with Trish. And Jess was referred to us through a mutual friend who said, "Hey, you really need to talk to her," because we were having a lot of trouble with all our process. We're all volunteers, so we just didn't have the time for the consistency. And what Jess brought to us there was a real understanding of how marketing works. And she gave us very special pricing for that charity, which we were very and are very grateful for. And I realized very quickly that I also needed Jess in my corner for priorities. So how long have we been working together, Jess?
Oh gosh, I mean, it's got to be close to a year and a half at this
That's
point.
what I was just thinking. If we're not pushing two, it's darn close.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I really loved about the way you did this was how much you pay attention to the personality of your clients. What kind of led you to understanding and making that a core foundation of how you do business?
So the big thing about social media, and this is what I've come across whenever I'm talking to clients and potential clients, if you're going to outsource something that's so personal to your business, it's very nerve-wracking. You don't want your social media to start sounding like somebody else and be really inauthentic to you and your brand. So
true.
that really is the foundation, and that's the thing that I have always, hung my hat on as long as I've had this business and been in social media, that my goal is always to get to the point, and this, where you're not making any edits on the content that we're posting every month. If you find, a typo or something you want to change about a graphic, awesome. But I really want to dial in that brand voice so that you feel confident in what I'm sharing for you, and knowing that, hey, if Jess wrote it, we're good.
Yeah, that's really, really well. That's another thing I really liked about the process is every month, probably about 10 days before the next month, I get a note that says, "Hey, go check these out." So I always get an opportunity to look at them. And of course, at first I was reading, line by line by line. And the thing I really noticed, well, maybe at the beginning I made one or two small edits, like because the program I hadn't explained it quite right. So just didn't have that info. So I incorporate that. But what happened was I never had to give the same thematic endpoint twice. Like it got to the point where you knew all my programs, you knew my personality, you knew how I spoke, about my dogs, all of that. And that got incorporated. And I don't think I've done any edits in the last however long. I do have to actually hit approve on them. And it's generally just, yep. Unless I've changed my mind about something. Like every now and then I'll go, "Oh, she's got the wrong link there. I never gave her the new one." And so I'll copy that in and update it. And that's a real blessing, because we got a lot of solopreneurs in this group, entrepreneurs who are just starting out. Yeah. And control is a big thing. And you really taking on we think of it as our brand, but you're taking on our personality for us. So that's that's an intimate client relationship.
Oh gosh, yeah. I feel very, very lucky that I have become friends and truly enjoy working with all of my clients.
I
It's
love
and
that.
Oh, and it's so important too. If we have totally different personalities and we're not going to get along, it's going to be really hard for me to dive into your brand voice. So I feel very lucky that, I'm working with amazing people like you.
Well, how do you figure that out? Do you figure that out during the client onboarding process, or do you have to wait to deal with that in an initial conversation? Because I think a lot of us, so one of the things that this points to that I think is a great conversation to have is that we want to have clients we like working with. And for a long time in my business, I had a lot of clients I liked working with, but I had a few I didn't like working with. And I thought I needed to say yes to all the clients because I'm building the business. I need the money. I've worked through that mindset, through a lot of spiritual work.
Yeah.
But did you have that same issue, number one? And if so, how do you now screen to make sure that doesn't happen anymore?
That's a fantastic question. And I would say, to answer the first question, yes, absolutely. That's something that I have dealt with and something that I still deal with, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I've been doing this part-time for probably close to 6 years at this point and full-time for about 2. So it's taken, oh gosh, I've grown so much in the past couple years doing this, and that of trying to figure out, okay, how do I decide if this person is going to be a good fit for me, if I'm going to be a good fit for them. And the more I do discovery calls with potential clients and the more that I bring people on, the easier it gets to determine, whether or not we're going to be a good fit. And something that I've always been told is I have authenticity radar. So for me,
I like that.
Thank you. We can thank my mom for that one. She coined that when I was little. So just, gut instinct, trusting that if I don't think someone's going to be a good fit, knowing that, okay, it's scary to turn away business. Absolutely. But there will be a space for someone who's going to be a better fit if I, let the wrong person go.
It's interesting. It is scary. It's scary for all of us to turn away business, to turn away money when money is what, makes the engine move in our businesses. But there is a really cool freedom with it the first time you do it. And I don't mean by that like, oh, we're in the money, so we can just say no. There's a special feeling about it when you do it when you're scared. When you're going, geez, this guy's going to pay me, what, $750 a month to do such and such, $2,000 a month to do such and such. Yeah. That's the best money. Maybe that's the best money I've charged for what I do at any point in time. And it's so easy to fall to that. Yeah, I've got to have the money. This is what it is to work. I have to work hard. I have to work with people I don't like or that I don't mesh with. But the first time I still needed the money. It was not during good times. I had a real dip in the business in October of 2019, and like every dollar mattered. And been to the point where I was like, oh God, this is crazy. But I said no to one client then. And number one, the feeling was astounding. Mm-hmm. Number two, right behind it came a client that was better and a good fit and was going to be more money. And that happens. That's not just like myth, It's just, to Bree's point, it's so easy to see the sale and be excited to forget to qualify people. That's really well put.
Yes, agreed. That's beautifully said.
Yeah, I love that you do that, and especially in your business because you do have to connect with people, and it's so hard if you're not embedded. But that's a challenge I'll put out there to people. If there's a current client you have that just every week you're working on their stuff, you're just like, oh. Think about cutting them loose, even if it hurts financially, because when that small action feels huge, because it does feel huge, but watch what happens after you do it.
Yes.
Just watch, sit back and enjoy that movie because it's amazing. So anyway, I'm really glad we circled around to that, and I didn't mean to, but I want to ask you a couple particular questions too about at people who are doing some of their own marketing, Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff. What
Yes.
are a couple of tips you have for people coming out of the gate who want to do organic posts in a Facebook group or on their feed or on their page? First of all, where's the best place to do them? And second of all, like if you had one or two, if you do this, you're going to be much better off. What are those couple of things?
So in terms of, oh, I could talk about this stuff for hours. I love
Ooh,
this.
yay,
So,
good.
so in terms of where the best place to be, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, it really depends on you and your business. So if you are someone who is in the B2B space, the business to business space, where maybe you're like myself or you, Pam, where our clients are mostly other business owners, LinkedIn is a fantastic place to be. If you're going after the younger audience, I would say anywhere from 35 and under, Instagram is the must-be space. That's where you definitely want to go.
35 and under?
Yes, I would say 35 and under. Yeah. And that definitely is growing, especially as the millennial generation continues to get older and older. That number's going up, but the general rule of thumb is about 35 and under. Instagram is perfect. Yeah. Facebook, I think everyone should have a Facebook presence. It's still the standard. It's the classic social media platform. And if you don't have a Facebook page, it's something that, you can share very similar content across all platforms. Facebook is just the one to be on there and make sure you've got that presence, definitely.
So let's talk about that. Is just having my own feed there presence enough? Can I do business stuff in my feed? Should I, or should I have a page? Should I have a group? I know people struggle with that question.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. That's one I get a lot. And people will say, oh, but my personal profile, I get much more engagement on there. And that might be true. Facebook tends to downplay the posts that come from business pages. But that being said, I still absolutely recommend you have a business page. If you want that professional presence, you need to show up as a business on social media. And it could be a business page for a solopreneur that, my Facebook page and Pam, yours, the main photo is of us because we're the face behind the brand. So it's still really important to have that Facebook page. And on a bonus to that, you get all of the analytics that you need to know if what you're sharing is working on the Facebook page, which you don't if you do a profile.
That's actually one of the other things I wanted to share. So you used to give me a beautiful report. You still do. A beautiful report at the end of each month. Used to be for Soldier's Hands, today for me, telling me everything about my analytics and the impact that our work is having. And the thing I like about you is you tell me the positive and the negative and what we're going to do to tweak the negative and what we're going to do to leverage the positive. Yeah. So are there tips in Facebook about what analytics people should look at?
Ooh, there are a lot of numbers in there, and it's overwhelming the first time that you go look in the insights section. So I always recommend, there are a couple numbers that you want to pay attention to. People will call your follower count a vanity metric, and they'll say that one doesn't matter. And it doesn't, in the sense that you do not need 1 million followers in order to have a successful business. You can be perfectly great with 100 followers or with 5 followers. The thing that you want to pay attention to is continuing to grow your audience. That's what I care more about than the number that you ultimately arrive at. Engagement is also a big one. So looking at your posts and saying, okay, we talked about we did a client testimonial post last week, and that got a ton of comments and a ton of engagement. That's something that we need to pay attention to and do more of those in the future. Or, as you know, Pam, maybe we did a personal post and shared something about a dog.
Who would do that?
I have no idea. No one. Definitely don't post about dogs. No. No. If you want to boost your engagement, if you have a pet, post about the pet. I have never seen it not work.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. The other thing I really like about what you do, and I think this is a great tip for people, is you have I don't quite know exactly what it is, but you cycle through different types of posts.
Yes.
Talk about that for a minute, because I think that's really, really important.
I Oh, I'm glad you asked about that. That is something that I do with all of my clients, and I recommend to everyone, whether we're talking through a strategy session with me or if you're a full management client. There are different names for them. I call them content buckets. Some people call them content pillars. But the idea is that there are so many things that you can share about when you're posting on social media. And it's helpful to have a lane and make sure that you're staying in your lane while still sharing a variety of content, because we don't want people to get bored with what you're sharing.
Yep.
So I will typically do, and you know this, Pam, you can see those tags. So my typical schedule for most clients, generally we're going to do something a little bit lighter and fluffier on Mondays. Everyone's just getting into the week. They don't want to be sold or learn a whole lot on Mondays. They're just kind of, getting into the week. Tuesday and Wednesday will shift into something that's a little bit more educational. Thursday is where we'll typically do some kind of promotional post or do a selling something. And then Fridays, keep it light, keep it fun. That's when you can throw out the pet posts.
I love that. I'm going to actually pop that up here on a banner too, because I think that is so key. And the reason I like that is it really, people stay interested because nobody's actually picking up that pattern.
Nope.
Like what they're picking up is that every time I look at this, there's something different and it's fun and it's entertaining. And we still get those promotional posts in. And the key I want to point out here, folks, there's one promotional post a week, not 5, 1. Everything else is just building relationship. And we've really seen it have an impact on the numbers.
Yes. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So that really, really makes me happy. And I love the way you block that out, and you can see it when you're going through and approving the posts too. So that is a great tip that I don't want people to forget. How about when it comes to people putting bad comments on your stuff?
Yeah, it's tricky. And there are always going to be trolls on the internet, especially as you continue to grow. So I would say my answer to that is multiple layers to that. Number one, as long as you are focusing on putting out positivity into the internet and into the social media space, that's most of what you're going to get back.
Okay.
We've definitely had haters, Pam, and I have experienced them as well. But for the most part, you're going to get positive responses.
Yeah, totally true.
Yeah. Whenever you get those negative responses and you get the negative comments, there's a couple different ways you can handle it. If it's a constructive criticism comment, that's something that I think you absolutely want to respond to. And you can always say, hey, I really appreciate the feedback. Would love to talk to you more. Let's take this over to DMs or to email where you're able to talk a little bit more privately. If it's something that is just, nasty spam hate comment, go ahead and hide it. Go ahead and delete it. It doesn't need to be on there. You don't want people seeing that. And sure, maybe if you get rid of a comment, it knocks the engagement, but it's much better to get rid of that stuff. You don't want it promoted on your post.
Cool. That is awesome. I want to get to this question from Bree because I really like it. But also the one thing I want to say about that is I will sometimes come back at them with humor.
Yes.
And or wow, that's right. And then this and this and this, or something like that. So that's, if it's something you can manage like that, but, spam plus hate equals spate. I love it. But yeah, if it's just hateful or it's judgmental of anybody who might be looking at the post or anything like that, then we take care of it. But I love Bree's comment here, question here. So we talked about the pattern of posts, like something a little light, then you get a little more educational, then a promotional, then light again.
Yes.
What if you're doing a live launch and you literally are in a week of open cart, say?
That's a really good question. And I would say no. I think that schedule should stay roughly the same. Maybe you're adding an additional promotional post in there. But what I would change is all of that content should focus on or tie back into whatever you're getting ready to launch.
Got it. Or launching. So you could add a couple, like do a promotional post Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but also still post your light, your educational, and your light again.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then point two there, Bree, that I heard was have everything in that week or 2 weeks, or however long you're launching, relate to the thing. And that's the cool thing too. If you have somebody like Jess doing things, you say, hey, I got this launch coming up. Here's what it's about. And then all of a sudden all those posts start to, everything's got that theme running through it. So that's great input. Let me make sure I didn't miss any major questions.
Yeah, it's fun. Pam, you're dealing with a launch and I'm getting ready to launch something in a couple days as well. So all of my April posts have been focused on hashtags because that's what I'm getting ready to launch. So
let's talk about that. I'm so glad you said that. So you're doing a foray now into digital products.
Yes.
Because of all the stuff that you've learned, and talk about what is it you're doing? I'm so excited.
Yes, thank you. I love that we're talking about this right now. We were talking off the live and I was sharing how this was not planned, but I am launching my first digital product on Monday. Yes. So I am getting ready to launch my ultimate hashtag guide. This is something that, it's been months in the making, but really it's been years in the making because there is so much strategy that goes into choosing the right hashtags. And especially it's becoming a little bit more of a big thing on LinkedIn, but especially on Instagram, you need to be utilizing hashtags. That is one of the easiest ways to grow your account, to find new followers, and, to build your business without a whole heck of a lot of effort.
That sounds so much fun. And hang on here. I'm going to pop where you guys can find this.
Yes.
So we'll put this in the comments as well so you can copy and paste. But that is awesome. And I think one of the things that surprised me was how important hashtags were when you were working with me. Yes. I had kind of always thought it was a thing and, adults, were doing it and kids were frustrated with it or whatever it might be. And it's not, it's real. This is how people get to you.
Oh, yes. These are not the hashtags of 5 and 10 years ago on Twitter where people would just say hashtag what I ate for lunch or, everything would turn into a hashtag. This is very different. These are very strategy based. We're picking hashtags that are going to be seen by your ideal clients and be seen by the people in your industry and in neighboring industries. And yeah, there's a lot of strategy behind this. You don't want to just, say, okay, I'm posting about my dog, so I'll use hashtag
dog. Right.
Yeah. No, great. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I love that. So Bree had another question here, which I think is great. Yeah. And I love the interaction. So thanks for asking these. So Bree's in the midst of a big shift in the business. Her content's going to become very relational, storytelling, still wants to integrate her one-on-one coaching story into it. And she's wondering how to step from that point of telling a story that hints that you're a coach to actually talking promotionally about it. And I've had that same trouble till I started working with you. And I think it comes down to, I don't know, you tell me what you think, because you're the expert here. How do you make that shift as an entrepreneur?
So, and Bree, please comment if I miss any element of this question, because I really like this. So in terms of making that switch where you're going from very relational and storytelling, but starting to really promote more of your services, I would say a fun way that you can throw it out there more often and still stick to that schedule, not be overbearing, is to throw a little PS into the end of your caption. So we have very short attention spans. That's why we break up captions into multiple lines. It needs to be quick, easy to read, very snappy. Throwing that PS at the bottom of the caption, it catches people's eye, and you can say, hey, PS, if you're really excited about what I'm sharing here, get ready or book a session with me. Something like that, really short, simple, to the point. You're not hard selling. If someone's interested, they'll look at it, and if not, they'll breeze right by it.
Oh, I like that so much. And I actually saw that in a couple of my posts that you had done for me. So that is one of those things I really enjoy. Is it doesn't feel salesy at all. Like it just feels like, hey, if this information is useful, it's what I really am. If this information is useful to you, give me a call when you need help in this area. Not now, Not there's an unlimited, grab this slot or they all disappear. The price is going up tomorrow stuff. Just, hey, if you want to talk to me here. And I love that you're so right. Cause that's one of the things that I think that the plain emails now are becoming a thing where they're not all filled with graphics and stuff. And they're just small little paragraphs you can digest and you can glance down the page, like you said, with our typical ADD and boom, I've got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, here, hang on. Bree's circling back to you here. So let's
all right.
PSI. So you just include that PS in the one promo post. I don't know. I might include it in the others.
That's what I was going to say. I would include it in all of them. I think the promotional posts, you don't need to put that PS in there because the whole caption is really going to be focused on what you're selling and promoting. Use that educational post, that fun post. Throw the little PS in there. Maybe I'm trying to think of what we've done for you, Pam. So we've done funny posts about your dogs, and you can easily throw a PS on the end of there and say, hey, if your mind is feeling as chaotic with your finances as this scene with my dog is, give me a call.
Yep. So you just relate it somehow to the story. I love it. And you'll throw that even in one of the Tuesday or Monday or Friday posts, which is really cool. So that is amazing.
Exactly.
All right, cool. All right, we've got time for one more gem from you. What is one more piece of gold that you can drop for people who are looking to do something today or tomorrow around their Facebook stuff?
So what I would recommend is finding, and I say this because other than questions about hashtags, the thing I get the most questions on is, okay, Jess, what's the best time to post on Facebook or on Instagram? Because everyone wants
the best time. Yes, the old best time question. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that is everywhere, and every article has a different philosophy behind it.
Yes.
I say the articles are great, and those are great general tips. But what is so much better is to find out what time you should actually be posting. So it's super easy to find this on your Facebook analytics for your Facebook page. And again, another bonus to having the page and not just a profile. So 5 easy steps. You go to your Facebook page. On the left-hand side, you're going to click on Insights. Then you'll see a little link on the left to go to your posts. And you're going to be able to see the exact times that your audience is online. So find those times. If your audience is mostly online at, let's say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, share a post around 3. Get it out there. Start engaging with your audience when you're sharing and leave it go. That's the best way to find the exact time that your audience is online and not have to worry about whatever.
I did not know that was there that we could look at ourselves. So you could pick your highest engagement post, go to your Facebook page, click on the Insights button, look at the post, pick a high engagement one, and you can actually look there and see when your audience that's looked at it has been online.
Yeah, and they'll actually, even beyond the individual posts, Facebook will give you a whole graph at the top. They'll tell you, okay, these are the days that your audience is online, the times, it'll ebb and flow. So it's great.
Wow, do you have another second?
Yeah.
All right, I want to just show people how to do this. So I'm going to actually go to my page here and then share the screen and have you walk me through that. So that would be really helpful to people, I think. So let me get back to you here, and I'm going to try and share my screen. And I want to share which window?
That's
Chrome tab, Facebook.
What do I want to share?
Okay. So now let me see if we can actually see it. We can. There's little me and little you. Can you see it there?
I can. We're good.
Okay. So I come over here to Insights.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hit Insights.
Then you're going to go to Posts.
Posts. Okay.
And there's a nice big graph for you right at the top. So you can scroll along. It'll tell you the times. And then if you go up, Pam, and you hover over a different day of the week, you can see how different days your audience.
Look at that. So am I reading this right to say, really? So this is shown for a week. And these are in, oh, be careful of that. See how it says Pacific time zone?
Yes,
Make sure
always
you
be
pay
careful of
attention to
that.
that. Yeah. So this is, let's just pick Wednesdays. So is this looking at all Wednesdays or this Wednesday?
This is looking at all Wednesdays, whatever it has
Okay.
data for. Yeah.
And then this is telling me how many people who watch, who look at my posts were on at these time slots.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it
That
usually
is,
pulls data from about the last 28 days.
oh
So
my
it
gosh,
should be in about the past month.
that is amazing. So I would want to post really, I've got a lot of latitude here.
Yeah.
Anytime between 9 a.m. and I see, folks, I don't pay attention to what time things get posted. But then after we get to like 7 p.m., they're actually really 6 p.m., things start falling off. So guys, you got to go check that out.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is so cool. I'm so glad we shared that.
Oh gosh, that's my favorite tip to give out because everyone wants to know what time they need to post. And my answer is always, you've got to find the right time for you.
Go look at your chart. That's amazing.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. This was so helpful. There's a ton of meat in here. If people drop questions in the comments and tag you, would you mind jumping in and just doing quick answers?
Yes,
Okay,
I
and
would love to.
Awesome. I've dropped the link for the ultimate hashtag guide, guys. Important to look at that. So take a peek at that. The link's in the comments, and we will have Jess around in the group. You can DM her. If you happen to be on one of my other feeds, I'll make sure that if you don't have the ability to tag Jess, I'll be following it and tag her so that she jumps in and comments. But thank you for taking the time out today. I really appreciate it. And wait a minute, somebody wants to say hi.
Oh, hi Trish. Oh my gosh. It's good to see you.
See you, right?
Yes.
I love it. All right, cool. I am going to let you go. Thank you so much. You're such a blessing to me and my business, and I can't wait to see you online.
I am so grateful for this. Thank you, Pam. You have been a huge blessing to me too. So thank you so much.
All right, everybody, have a great Thursday, a fantastic Friday, an awesome weekend, and we'll see you back here next week for sure.